All right, welcome to Undrafted Hockey Fan. We're going to be going over my rankings list, the first tier list, I'd say. We're not going rank, we're going tiers, and the tiers that I got are Stanley Cup contenders, playoff contenders, so you're in your 2, 3, 4 spot. Wild card is the actual 4 spot. What the heck's happening? I can't swear because YouTube will take it down if it's in the first minute. And then rebuilding, right? So clarification, rebuilding, clearly trying to be bad, right? If you're a Stanley Cup contender, you're definitely going all in, probably selling off first round draft picks and all that jazz. But the WTF is going to be more of teams that are either rebuilding and maybe are good, or teams that are supposed to be Stanley Cup contenders and are bad, right? It's teams that are not meeting expectations in the good way or the bad way, right? San Jose is an example of a team meeting expectations in, I'd say, good for them. Bad for the team, but good for the managers. I don't know. We'll be going over those today. So if you want to see more videos like this, hit comments, like, subscribe. We can do more tier lists. I actually am going to enjoy doing these because we're about 11, 12 games in. So I probably want to do one of these every 10 to 15 games, just to kind of give an update of where they're at. And I have the NHL standings here as well, so we'll go over that. So Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim Ducks are surprisingly actually in a what's happening? They're in a playoff spot currently. They're in a wild card spot in the division. In the Pacific Division right here, you can see Anaheim Ducks are in the 4th place. I mean, and with only 10 games in hand too, right? So they could actually even secure that spot with 2 more games and be tied with the LA Kings at some point. So and so there's that opportunity. So with them, it's more of what's happening? WTF, right? You're supposed to be rebuilding. What's happening? This is not the part of the plan. And again, there's going to be a lot more WTFs because we're still early in the season because direction hasn't been made yet in some of these cases. So going over that. So here we go. Going to the next one. The Arizona Coyotes. Arizona Coyotes are actually also in a in a wild card spot currently. You can see that they're right below St. Louis here. But they're in a better spot. I'd say I actually think I had them as, let me look at my standings. I had them in like a rebuilding sense, and I think they still are. I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're actually still rebuilding a little bit. They definitely got better, but they signed a lot of 1-year contracts, so my thought is they're going to be end up flipping a lot of these guys. They signed Zucker. What was his name? They signed Dumba, and they brought Logan Cooley and everything, but they're still rebuilding. They're still going through it. Boston Bruins, I had them finishing 4th in their division, but they are absolutely Stanley Cup contenders right now. They've only lost one game in regulation. That was the Red Wings last night. And they've only lost one other game in overtime. So they only have 2 official losses out of 11, I believe. And so they're doing very good. I'm very impressed with the Boston Bruins. Like I said, I had them finishing 4th and still making the playoffs, but in a more of a wild card spot. So Buffalo Sabres, WTF. Honestly, I don't know what's happening with these guys. They're just not playing well. And I'm genuinely surprised. I think Devin Levi should be playing a little bit better. Again, he's a rookie goalie, so I kind of get that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo Sabres, if they get close to that wildcard spot, if they trade for a goalie, just to make sure they have some insurance. I know Eric Comrie was playing really well for them. He was more their veteran goalie. They have Ukko-Pekka and Eric Comrie and Devin Levi. But I could see them trading for a goaltender just to kind of secure a wildcard spot, and if that's an opportunity for them. But again, I expected them to be a little bit better, and playing only 500 is a little bit surprising there. So I'm going to go with, I still think they're in that wildcard spot, though. No, I guess they did it better. Did they get better? No. Yeah, they're in that wildcard spot. I think they still have an opportunity for that. Calgary Flames, so bad. What the heck? Fuck. Let's go with fuck now, because it's now late enough in the video. What the fuck, dude? Dude, them and the Edmonton Oilers are both, and we're just going to go over them both in conjunction here. I had Edmonton finishing 2nd in the division. I had Calgary finishing 4th. They're currently 6th and 7th in the division. And Edmonton, with McDavid, with 2 wins? What are you guys doing? And one of them was an outdoor game. Just can't get goaltending. 41. Both of them allowing 41 goals in, not scoring enough. I mean, that was kind of Edmonton's MO at this point. So, I mean, same with Edmonton. I'm going to go WTF, man. What the fuck? What's happening here, guys? Carolina Hurricanes. Moving on to them, they're actually playing pretty well. They're near the top of the division, 2nd in the division right here, 14 points in 12 games. I had them finishing, second in the division, so that makes a lot of sense here. So they're still to me, they're actually a Stanley Cup contender. I think they're just playing so well. I think it's great. So I know Chicago's got Bedard. They're rebuilding. again, similar to Coyotes, they have a bunch of 1-year contracts. They're going to sell. They have Taylor Hall. They're probably going to sell him. Foligno, same thing. So maybe they keep Taylor Hall on a longer contract, just continue playing with Bedard. But I don't know. I could see him selling on Taylor Hall as well. Avalanche, contenders. I mean, you got McKinnon. You got these great contracts. They've been playing really well as well. If we go to theirs, second in division, I had them in this spot. I had Dallas taking the first in the division as well, but they're playing very, very well. So actually, we'll just jump Columbus and put Dallas up there as well. Again, Stanley Cup contenders, not playoff, Stanley Cup, in my opinion. I think Dallas is that good. So Columbus, so they got better. They traded for some guys. A lot of people thought they were going to be in the wildcard team. I still think they're in the rebuild phase. I know they signed Gaudreau. They have Laine. They have, Boone Jenner. They got Adam, I can't think of his name, Fantilli. But Merzlikins is not there yet. I still think they're in the rebuild. They still need some pieces. They're just not fully there yet. And I think and they got David Juracek, who just finished his ELC, or burned a year of his ELC. I still think they're in a rebuild phase. And Columbus fans, if you have a debate, put them in the comments right here. So, Red Wings. Red Wings are currently doing very well. I think they're third or second in the standings right now. In their division, second in the standings. Look at that. They do have a goal ahead on the Lightning and the Leafs. So this could be taken away. The Red Wings do have 7 wins, so they would be in that second place spot. But to me, I had them as, it's still bad, but they're doing very well. I think they're a playoff contender at this point. Currently at this point, I don't know if they have it long term. They're staying pretty fairly healthy besides Robbie Fabry. But I think they're only an injury or 2 away. And Larkin looked like he almost got hurt last game against the Bruins. So if Larkin goes down, that's a real stick spot. So Florida, I kind of have them as a wildcard spot because wildcard. I think that they're not doing very well right now. In the standings, they're 7th but they're also over 500. So only 10 games. So they're still 2 games in hand. They're doing well, though. I mean, but they're not doing good in their division. I think this is a really difficult division. I think we're going to see Montreal Canadiens fall. I think we're going to see the Red Wings fall. I thought we were going to see Boston fall, but I mean, Florida Panthers are going to be in that wild card spot. They had a hard time making it last year, but they did, and they made Stanley Cup Finals. But I still think they're in that wild card spot, and they could lose out this year. And it's because they don't have first round picks to trade until like 2026, I think. So they're having a real hard time of it. So LA definitely playoff contender, not Stanley Cup. I think their goaltending still needs work. I think they are doing pretty well right now, if I remember correctly. They are doing well in the lineup. So, yeah, they're third in their division. 16 points, it's phenomenal in 11 games. That's great. You really, and it's funny, in the Pacific, you really got, like, teams that are playing well. Ducks, 600 or 60, above 500 percentage, win percentage. And then you have the teams that are not doing good. So there's a big discrepancy in the Pacific. And so, again, I think LA is doing well, but to me, they're just a playoff contender. They're just not Stanley Cup. Minnesota Wild, I thought they were going to be doing better. They're not doing that great in their standings. And I'm surprised Kaprizov is kind of just trying to drag them as much as they can. Their goaltending has not been good recently with Gustafsson and Fleury, but I see them as potentially a wild card. I can see them as a wild card right here. They can get it together. I think that's absolutely possible. But losing Dumba, I think, really hurt them more than they thought that it would. So let's see what they can do there. Again, I think they're still a wild card team. Canadiens, I'm gonna go WTF because you guys are supposed to be bad. I knew you guys were gonna get better, but like I didn't think you're gonna be this good. In a playoff spot right now is a Canadian, or almost in a playoff spot. Sorry, they're tied with them. They're tied with the Maple Leafs on everything. The only thing that when you have a team, if I remember correctly, if you have a team that's the same games, same wins, same losses, same ties, the difference of who makes the spot is the goal differential. And so currently the reason Toronto Maple Leafs are above the Montreal Canadiens is because they have a greater goal differential with the Canadiens letting in 5 more goals. So this is why, but I mean, they're right there. They're tied for that wild card spot. But I thought this would be bad. I thought they were going to be at the bottom. I had them 8th in the division. And I mean, Ottawa's clearly taking that spot very well you need to take half of the Ottawa Senators points and add it to their scores to tie the Montreal Canadiens. So it's crazy, man. Nashville, they're playing okay. I thought they were going to be worse, but they have Saros, right? So you can see that's one of the big differentiators is that this zero right here, right? Look at you have Winnipeg and St. Louis both have negative goal differentials, but what's keeping Nashville in this is that UC Saros. I mean, a top 5 goaltender, probably top 3, depending on the year. But this is a guy who's keeping them in the fight right here. So I can see, I mean, Nashville could leapfrog this and become a wild card spot. I think that's where we're going to put them, is in a wild card spot, because I think they have an opportunity to do that. I had them finishing lower in like 6th in the division, but they could surprise us. I mean, they did make a lot of signs this year. So New Jersey Devils. Okay, so I think that if they can get Jack Hughes back, who just got hurt this past weekend, if they can get him back, I think they're still a Stanley Cup contender. I think he's leading the points. I mean, like 20 points in 11 games. He's doing extremely well in the league. I still think they're a Stanley Cup contender. It's a little skeptical right now with how what's going to happen with Jack Hughes, but hopefully they can get him back. Again, I still think they're a Stanley Cup contender. So Islanders, I had them. I was higher on Pittsburgh. I had Islanders actually missing the playoffs. We go to the Islanders. They're in the playoff spot right now, so only with only 10 games in. So they gotta go. They're a playoff contender right now. Currently, they're a playoff contender. They just are. I don't know if I feel that as much, but the data just shows that they are a playoff contender at this point. So I have to go with them. And same with the Rangers. Rangers, they're really starting to look. I mean, they're leading the division. They're doing very well in the league. I don't trust some of their guys. But I think they're a playoff contender. They're in that edge. If there's between playoff contender and Stanley Cup contender, I would put them between that. I mean, look at 17 points. They're doing very well. They're 8 wins in 11 games. I mean, Shesterkin, look at that, plus 10. I mean, only let in 24 goals. I think there's going to be a little bit lack of production. I mean, we're seeing a little bit right now. But Rangers, I'm not sold. I definitely think they're a playoff team. I don't know if they're a Stanley Cup contender, though. That's just my opinion. Rangers, blue shirts, come at me. Let's see what's happening. Again, I'm doubtful. Senators, WTF, you guys are supposed to be better. And the couple things that they are kind of hurting them are Shane Pinto being out for 41 games because of the gambling incident. You have Shabbat got hurt as well. Goaltending's not sticking up as much as they thought they would. And so there's just some things that they're kind of bumps in the road at this point. And I don't think they're getting the same production out of Kubalik as they would of a DeBrincat, who was just leading the league in goals for a good chunk of the league, or the time. A good chunk of the start of the season, my apologies. And I'm just surprised that I had Ottawa higher. I had them above Detroit. I had Ottawa. I had it in 6th, 7th, 8th. It was Buffalo, Ottawa, Detroit, Montreal. That was me. So, and I'm surprised as much as everyone. Like, WTF, what's happening, guys? Come on. You guys have elite players. I did say that they had lacked depth. I thought they had elite players in Stützle. You have, not Branson. Stützle, Brady Tkachuk, right? You have some really great players. You have Jacob Chikrin as well. But I was really surprised, to be honest. So, and then moving on to the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers in 6th, they're rebuilding, right? So they are rebuilding. So I mean, they're playing well. They're slightly below 500, but they're playing well for what they got. They just had an injury of Carter Hart going down, but they're still in that rebuild. So I'm putting them in the rebuild spot. I mean, they're doing well now, but long term they are going to be rebuilding. So that's the anticipated spot here. Pittsburgh Penguins. What the fuck, guys? You are so bad right now. Look at you're 8th in your division. What the fuck? You guys traded for Erik Karlsson. You guys got Riley Smith. You guys really made that big move, right? What's happening, right? And you're not even getting bad goaltending. Look, you're still a +5 differential, right? So you guys just need to start putting actual wins on the wins. You need actual wins, right? And I think this +5 is really because they just beat San Jose Sharks 10-2. So there's a +8 right there. So they were down -3, but they need to get some actual wins. And I know they lost the Red Wings. I was at that game, yeah. And so you got to be better. I mean, you're definitely better, in my opinion. I had the Penguins making the playoffs, right? And maybe they, at this point, the highest they're going to get is the 5th spot, but they really absolutely need games. And again, it's early in the season, so they're only one, or a win and an overtime loss to tie Washington Capitals and Philadelphia Flyers, and they only have 10 games as opposed to the Flyers having 12. So they're one game away from or two wins away from beating the Flyers and the Capitals. So there's an opportunity there, but it's absolutely surprising. Honestly, Penguins, get your shit together. You got Kyle Dubas now. So Sharks are I want to say I am going to say WTF. And the reason I'm saying that is because we expected them to be bad. No one expected them to be this bad. In their last game, they just lost again 10-2 to the Penguins, and they also lost 10-1 to the Vancouver Canucks. I am blown away. I just don't understand what's happening to the Sharks. Never mind. Again, like I was saying, I think this is great for management. But I think because they're tanking the way they want to get that first overall draft pick, and at this rate, they're not guaranteed it, right? But they're going to be in the best position at this rate. I don't know how they can catch up. I mean, although Edmonton is only 2 wins away, so but yeah, Sharks, WTF, they are rebuilding, so this is kind of a joke of WTF, but it is funny though. Like I said, it cracks me up. So moving over to the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis Blues, I did not have them this high. I had them missing the playoffs in 5th place, but they're doing well. They're doing okay right now. So I still think that they're a wild card spot. I wanted them to go into a rebuild, but they decided not to. But I think they're doing well right now. So I like what they're doing right now. So keep it up. Lightning, absolute playoff contenders in my opinion, because they're playing well right now with Vasilevsky out, but I think that's what throws them in the weird spot is that they're in the 3rd spot. I just don't see them as Stanley Cup. I think that they have a lot of players. I think there is, as much as they try to downplay it with having some tumultuousness with Stamkos, I still think there's a lot of tension there, even though there was supposedly a locker room person that said that they wouldn't, like, Stamkos leaving would ruin the team. I think that causes a little tension. I think this year is they're gonna, and we actually do know that Tampa Bay didn't try as much hard in the regular season because they recognize they need to put all their eggs in one basket. Being like, there's no reason to go for first in the league or first in the division. It's more important that you just make the playoffs and you come in healthy. And of course, Vasilev's not doing that, but I just think that the way the Tampa Bay is playing, they're going to be more of a playoff contender than a full-blown Stanley Cup contender. So. We'll see, because especially when they get Vasilevsky back as well. I think that is a huge hurdle right now. So, Toronto Maple Leafs, I am putting them as a playoff contender, and the reason I'm doing that is because to me, they were a Stanley Cup contender. They're gonna be fighting for top in the league or in the division, potentially top in the league of wins, and for some reason they're just not able to click together right now. I think they're 4th in the division right now with 12 points, playing all right. Matthews has 3 hat tricks. 3 hat tricks in 11 games, and you guys can't get your shit together? Get it together. Come on. Like, I am blown away. I think Wallace played well. Samsonov is starting to lose a little bit. Wall did let in, I think, 6 goals last night, though. So he had a bad game. It wasn't a great game. But at this point, I had them winning. I had Toronto. It was Toronto, Tampa, Florida, Boston. Even with Florida, I think Florida will bounce back because they're missing 2 of their defensemen, so they're going to get higher in there. But I don't know if I see Boston dropping. And Tampa probably will stay around that 3rd, 4th spot. And I don't know if Detroit, again, I'm not confident in Detroit. I'm a Detroit fan. I have all my Red Wings stuff right here. It's on the ground too. Like, I have a ton of Red Wings stuff. I just don't know if I see it. But let me know if you're a Detroit fan, because I'm skeptical, to say the least. So, Vancouver. What the fuck? I had Vancouver. Where are you at? I had Vancouver in 6th in the Pacific, and you guys are. What are you guys doing? Like, you guys are in. I think you're in the 1st, or I think you're 2nd in the division, because you guys are just. When did you guys decide to get good? I knew you guys had good pieces. Oh yeah, you're behind the Vegas Golden Knights. Still, you guys had the same record or similar record to the New York Rangers. Look at that, 8-2-1. 8-2-1. Look at that. A 26 goal differential. Like, I know you guys got 10, like you guys get 9, but even that, if you get 9, that's still 17 goal differential. They're playing very, very well. I'm very impressed with the Vancouver Canucks. I heard they had an easier schedule, so I imagine they're going to drop down a little bit. But Vancouver Canucks, holy, what the fuck? Good for you guys, man. I mean, excited for those fans as well. Like I said, it's a huge deal for Vancouver fans to get that kind of excitement and everything around the team. So, moving on to the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, they're Stanley Cup contenders at this point. I mean, they are, because they're just playing so well, and you can't deny it. Honestly, you just can't deny how well they're playing. And I mean, they're top. They've only lost in overtime once. So, I mean, at this rate, they're doing a phenomenal job. I mean, keep up the good work, Vegas. Holy smokes! So, we have the Washington Capitals. To me, this is they're in a. I mean, to me, they should be rebuilding. I think they should be really rebuilding. They're not picking up the right players. They're doing some weird stuff. But they're not. To me, they're not a wild card team. I mean, to me. Well, let me drop them right here in the rebuilding for a second. If you look at them right here on the standings, I mean, they're almost they're above 500. So, but again, the -9. I mean, they're not scoring a ton. 21 goals, 30 in. I don't know. To me, I'll actually, to be honest, I'm putting them in the WTF because I think they should be losing. I think they should be. I mean, I get what they're trying to do. I think they should rebuild while they have Ovi. I think they should do a retool on the fly. Sell off on Kuznetsov, get some players back. Hey, they picked up Sandin last year, traded a first-round pick for him and Gustafsson, and surround Obi with some decent players to be able to get into that goal mark. But I think that is the goal and object of, that's what they're trying to shoot for right now. Is that they're trying to get Obi all the money or all the goals. So I think that's their goal right now. And so it's kind of, what are you doing? What's happening? Are you trying to make the playoffs? Again, playoff goals don't go towards Ovi's record, so why bother with it? So, Winnipeg Jets. I had you guys rebuilding. I think you guys should have rebuilt it. I think you guys are good enough to kind of go for the playoffs, and I'm gonna do that. Playoffs. I think they're a playoff contender at this point. Playing fairly well. If you go to their rankings, yeah, they're third in the division, slightly above 500. Actually, have a worse record than St. Louis at this point. We did based on points percentage. St. Louis would take them over top. But again, these games are meant to be played, right? So, if St. Louis loses this game, they drop below Winnipeg again. But either way, I think because you double down on Scheifele, you double down on Hellebuck, sign them to monster 7-year contracts, you guys are going to have to contend. You're going to have to play out and contend. And so that is just what you're trying to do. And good for you guys. So I disagree with it, but that's not for me. That's the reason that I don't run these teams, right? So here we go. So my rankings here. So we got 2, 4, 6 as Stanley Cup contenders currently. Again, I think honestly New Jersey might be able to drop down to that because because of Jack Hughes, just only Jack Hughes. And then 2, 4, 6, 7 in the playoff contender. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 teams fighting for that playoff spots right now. And actually, I mean, let's be honest. Vancouver, you're a what the fuck? Because I don't know what's happening. Why are you being so good? What the fuck? But you're definitely exceeding expectations. But you're really a playoff contender. I mean, let's be honest. You got 19 teams going out for the playoffs right now. Calgary and Edmonton. What the fuck's happening, dude? I'm just blown away. But again, these 4 are kind of expected. Again, Arizona playing a little better. And Sharks, of course, definitely rebuilding. So, and Penguins, what the fuck? Get your shit together, Penguins. So, anyways, this is my list you got here. And so let me know what your thoughts are on this. First time doing it. That's a little bit longer video, but if you guys like it, let me know. If you don't, let me know so that we can not do them. So, anyways, hit like, subscribe, comment, and catch you soon. Love you.